How are you?
I am good. I'm good. It's really really hot, but I walked to Starbucks anyways, and was melting there and back. But I'm good.
I don't know how you do it. Like even being at Disney this past weekend, like I don't know how you do it.
Well, so this is yes, the South is hot, but we are definitely going through just historic temperatures for this time of year. It's awful. It is truly awful. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I mean, so many times it was 87 degrees, but feels like 95.
Oh, that's cool compared to what we had yesterday.
Oh god. And the
So I
humidity
was reading an
was
article.
just
Oh, I know. So I was reading an article today. I don't see what you thought about it.
mm,
We'll talk about it in our show about the COVID test requirements being lifted. So the cruise lines are kind of looking at maybe ending the COVID test requirement to get on a cruise. Do you like that? Do you not like that? They say that they're being
I
treated unfairly versus other
I
leisure travel.
honestly I'm ready for it to go, to be honest.
Yep.
I'm kind of at this point. You can now come into the country from wherever without a test. We can go into countries without testing. I don't see the complete difference there. I mean, I could see the vaccine requirements staying and sticking because that comes into a liability
I
part.
agree. I agree.
Um, but I think it's kind of time for it to go, return a little more to normal because it gets expensive. Like if you think of like a family of five, four, five, six, whatever, that's going on a cruise and they're trying to schedule COVID testing, they opt to get like those Binax kits. Like they're not cheap.
No.
That gets
Well,
expensive pretty quick.
so I still think cruising is a unique type of vacation, and I I'm still a little bit more okay requiring the COVID test. Because I think it makes people, I think, behave a little bit more, right? Because I'm getting on Celebrity Beyond in 2.5 weeks. Starting next week, I'm like gonna kind of just
I'll
hung,
believe it when I see it.
no, I did it for the Beyond inaugural. I kind of just stayed home for like a week. You know what I mean? Like I really was like not. There's no dinner meeting a friend that's worth messing up.
Trust me, that's what I did like before I even went to Italy in November. I just kind of like
I agree. All right. Well,
chill.
look, it is top of the hour, so let's get going, guys. Good morning. It's that time of the week again. It's Today in Travel. We have lots to talk about: airline rules, priority, Skyclub, American news, Disney. We have everything to talk about. I'm Jason Poole. I'm a travel advisor with Cruise Planners. Love talking about all things travel. This is really just an inside peek of what Haley and I talk about all the time offline. We just bring it to you guys once a week. Haley, good morning. How are you? Introduce yourself if someone
Good morning,
somehow doesn't know you.
everybody. Yeah, if you possibly don't know me, my name is Haley. I own the hotel sales support company, Hospitality with a Flair, and the travel blog, HaleyWithAFlair.com. Love travel of all its forms, and you'd think we'd run out of topics to talk about, but it's an ongoing.
But travel, when I got into this business, I did it because it was an exciting and evolving business, and that was before the pandemic. Now, living through the pandemic and post-pandemic, it is. I know the word unprecedented is just completely overused, but it's just a crazy world right now.
It,
Crazy.
it is like my friends and I in the hotel industry, like we joked because I mean, my early part of my hotel career was around '08. Things were pretty rough around then, and we always joke and we have different names for things at the industry. I always called those the holy wars. Was around
Yeah,
'08.
I like
I'm
that.
like,
I
what do
like
we
that.
call this now? What do we even call this?
I don't know. The Inquisitions. I don't know. All right. Well, let's jump in.
Okay, so I did something a little wacky last week.
Yeah.
So I found out that one of my really close friends had some family stuff happen that was just a little crazy. She was in Orlando with her family. That's not where she lives right now. But I was like, I just want to go be a little supportive. I wonder what airfare looks like. Like, I intended going down for just
Right.
like a day quickly, seeing if I could help. And I looked and I found round trip airfare leaving Friday, coming back early Monday morning for $148. So I ended up texting my other friend down there and I was like, hey, if I ended up bringing Olivia, do you have your daughter? We could do a Disney thing. And sure enough, all the stars aligned. So we went down Friday, saw my friend that was kind of going through it with her family, brought her some food and, a bunch of stuff, brought her dinner. And then we did Disney. Now, this is the first time I've done Disney in 2.5 years.
Really? Okay. Okay.
And then, in 2.5 years, because one of the things was I wasn't going to go to Disney with how hot it is down there and wear a mask. Like, just wasn't going to do it.
Right.
And a lot's changed since then. Like, you have the new Lightning Lane, which is the paid fast pass system. There's new rides there. There's some that you have to wait in virtual queues for. And I also tried the Swan and Dolphin Resort for the first time. And some of my takeaways from this, I'll try to keep it short because I think there's some tips I'm going to throw together in a video for our YouTube channel. So make sure you guys are subscribed there. The Lightning Lane, I think, is really great. It's a paid system. Like, most of the rides are covered in it. It's $15 per person per day. And there's ways that you can stack them if you're kind of doing partial days where you come back during the lunchtime and swim and whatnot. So I think that was actually really great. I saw a lot of people complain about it. I actually liked it and I thought it made sense. We'll see. I got to try the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
I would love that. I would love that.
It is the best ride I've ever been in my life. Like, I had to take a few moments after I got off this ride and sit down and process it. It is unlike any roller coaster like I've ever been on. Oh my goodness. And then I came to the conclusion on this trip as well that unless I got some crazy rando deal, I will not stay at an official Disney hotel when I go to Disney.
Oh, okay.
Reason being is Disney hotels are expensive, like anything. Hotels are pricey.
Yep.
They don't have that magical express that takes you to and fro the airport anymore. And I don't see all the benefits. So on Disney property, you have the Swan and Dolphin Resort that is considered a Disney hotel, but it's actually a Marriott property. The Swan and Dolphin are Sheraton and Westin, and I stayed at the new Swan Resort, which is an autograph collection. It's an elevated product. You get all the same perks that Disney's deluxe resorts are, but except when I'm spending that kind of money, I used points because there was that points transfer bonus for this to try it out. So when I go back in October for my sister's wedding, I booked that at my friends and family rate, but I'm like, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to get points for it. Some people will go stay at a deluxe resort at Disney, spending $300, $400, $500 a night, and you're not getting any points for that.
Yeah, but I mean, as a non-Disney fan, I do understand the appeal of being on property.
But it is on property. Like, the boat, like, you can take a boat from the Swan and Dolphin to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And you can actually walk from the Swan to Disney's Boardwalk Deluxe Resort. Like, it's all in the neighborhood.
Talk about problems I'll never have to worry about.
You will never have to worry about that. But, I kind of encourage people, like, if you're a Disney fan and you like going, you can still get the deluxe experience. It's still on property. It's still everything, but you can earn points. So then your next trip that you go, you can start earning your hotel for free and go. Like, and I mean, the resort is beautiful.
Or just be an adult and go to a real theme park. Anyways.
You would, I don't know, if you I thought I was going to have to peel Olivia off the ceiling because she loves Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Like,
I like going to Universal down there. I do enjoy Universal down there.
oh, I have to. I need to get back because I've not done Harry Potter there. Like, I know I need to
It's
do
fun.
it.
I've done it. It's cool.
But Jason, Olivia got first row on this roller coaster. I thought I was going to have to peel her. Like,
Oh, well,
another level.
I loved all the
Right
pictures.
with her.
I love the pictures and the ice cream. So thanks for sharing it on Instagram and on other socials.
Absolutely, and there'll be more tips videos. But I think my favorite topic this week is this one.
Yeah, so this came out of nowhere late last week. The Biden administration announced late last week that on Sunday, so a couple days ago, you are no longer, if you're a citizen coming home from international flights, no longer required to do a COVID test one day before, before your flight departs. So this is something the airlines were really pushing. They said that this testing requirement was holding back travel. It was suppressing sales. I saw that a little bit on my end as well. I have a lot of clients who, wanted to do the European.
24 hours was
right.
That's tight.
It is tight. And then, it was the whole thing. Like, what if I'm positive? I don't want to be stuck in, the Bahamas or stuck in, Spain or wherever. So, big news. This was exciting. And so it's in effect now. So now you can re-enter the country, which, honestly, you've been able to drive across the border and from Canada or even Mexico, without any test, right? So I had a colleague who had a group of clients. They were doing a cruise, and the cruise ended in Vancouver, and they were going to fly home from Vancouver, but two of her clients on this group tested positive, so they couldn't fly home. You know what they did? They rented a car and drove across the border and flew home from Seattle. Like, when they wore their mask, but it's like, it was ridiculous. You could just drive across the border and then fly home. So
it's very true. That's why I ended up doing Hawaii in April, because as much as I wouldn't mind getting stuck in Spain, France, wherever.
Right, exactly.
Olivia needed to go back to school.
Right.
So, that comes into effect. And it's just, it's kind of like what we talked about in the pre-show, kind of coming back to normal. And just a little comment here, guys. I saw it come through. We can see your comments, but if you are on Facebook, it just says Facebook user. So make sure you add your name so we can see them. But unless you put your name, I don't know. We don't know who you are.
All right. So for those who say we talk about Delta too much, we have something about American. So this kind of was introduced kind of quietly. So if you don't know, American's one of the, or actually the only airline as far as the big three in America, United, American, Delta, that still offers like true first class. It's only on select routes. It's only on certain plane types and plane configurations, but for like major, it's mostly international flights. They offer like true first. And what do we mean by first, right? Because, when you think, oh, I'm flying Nashville to New York in first class, that's not the same as like international first. Mm-hmm. So like when you see like a called a pod on international flights, that's typically like what we call business class. Okay. So I know it gets really confusing if you don't do this a lot. But American has something called like first, which is international, which is above business class. And they have like dedicated lounges for first class guests with food. And some of these lounges look out of this world good. Okay. But American is rolling out a new system. And I think this is kind of a cool idea that you can basically book a business class seat. So, you get the pod, but you can pay a little bit more and you get first class perks and amenities. So you get, you get access to the first class lounge with the dinner experience, extra points, extra miles. So it's called flagship business first. So would you pay, the Delta girl, would you pay? It's kind of hard because Delta doesn't really have this. So pretend you're an American fan. Would you pay more for it?
I don't know. I guess like if I was going, to Europe, no. If it was a true real long haul, because I mean for us here on the East Coast, like I mean Europe's long haul, but it's not at the same time.
Not like going to like the South Pacific.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I think I'm just at that point when I'm looking at that true longer haul flight, I'm looking at my airline partners and seeing who has a real first class cabin that I can kind of points hack or something like that. I don't know if I would. I think I would lean more towards no.
Okay. I know it's cliche to say, like with anything, it just depends on the price, right? If it's a couple $100 more, maybe.
Yeah, it's very price derivative, to be honest.
Right. But your actual seat isn't any different. You know, you're still in,
like okay, I got to go to a different lounge and have a meal. But what does that do for me when I'm sitting on a plane for 8 hours?
Right. I guess that also maybe depends on how long like a layover is, like a JFK, or if you're so it depends. So so interesting. I applaud American for doing something different. All right. So Virgin Voyages has canceled sailings, including my 2023 Super Bowl cruise, because they are delaying the launch of their third vessel, Resilient Lady. They blame it on a variety of factors. They said the shipyard was delayed because of COVID. They said hiring has been an issue, and they didn't come out and say it. I think Virgin's bookings are a little softer than they would like. Because right now it's still mostly the cruising enthusiasts who are going on cruise lines.
Yeah.
Virgin doesn't have that years of a loyal fan base.
Loyalty, yeah.
Right. And so
back to our pre-show topic as well, is that people that don't cruise who they're trying to attract, this is different from cruising. It's not your average cruise line.
No, right.
With everything in the news are very hesitant, I think, to try. Mm-hmm. Like I've heard so many people are like, "Oh, I just think it's so gross," and it's like,
I mean, I think a cruise ship is cleaner than like a hotel, but that's just me.
I say that I work in them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You don't have people thoroughly cleaning a hotel the way that you have. I mean, I love the smell of cruise line bleach. I kind of just love that. Like,
I mean, my most recent cruise, I walked in and the room attendant is literally like wiping the walls, and I was like, she'll be brand new. So the ship is going to launch. We didn't say May 2023. So almost a year from now. So, but if your sailing was affected, they're offering very generous compensation offers. I mean, up to 200% future voyage credit.
Oh, that's nice.
If you use it this year, like for a sailing within like a short time frame, you get to keep your voyage credit, and they're giving you a free cruise. I mean, they're really going above and beyond.
Making it right.
They're making it right. So, speaking of making it right, we have talked a lot about overcrowding in lounges. So it's a problem for the Centurion lounges from American Express. The Skyclub is trying to introduce policies such as you can't go in more than 3 hours before a flight. They backtracked on some other rules, like you can't go when you land. They backtracked. So I saw this in Atlanta a weekend or two ago when I was there. I saw the sign that said it was a dedicated sign for Diamond Medallions, Delta One, and 360 customers. And I was like, I've never seen that before. But there wasn't a line to the Skyclub, so it wasn't an issue. But Delta is kind of quietly rolling out a priority line for their top tier status and like Delta One customers, who are flying business class, for long hauls. So full disclosure, Haley and I are not Diamond.
No.
But I still am okay with this. Those are your most.
Plus, they have the new machines now too. They'll let you scan in faster.
Nashville has that. B&A.
Yep, Atlanta has that in Terminal B at least.
Oh, nice. Okay.
What I've seen, um, which is nice. I mean, I'm okay with it, and the thing is, I'm okay with the Amex one too because the Amex has rolled out the spends,
For
you
like
have to
free guest.
for the free guests. I'm okay with that because like I think so many people, I even saw this yesterday where it was priority pass, but trying to cram in like 6 people on one person's priority
Oh,
pass.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lot, and it kind of
A
defeats
lot,
the
right.
purpose, especially in an area like that where it's a ton of children. And I mean, a ton of children in an airport lounge is not
No,
necessarily
it's
what we're in
yeah.
the mood for.
No.
um,
So yeah, so I'll be anxious to see if this is kind of rolled out everywhere. I think it makes sense that they're major hubs, Atlanta, but often in Atlanta, everyone's a diamond. It feels like if you're flying Delta, but Atlanta, your JFKs, your Detroit. I think that I am totally in favor of the. But look, we saw this real world. Because when I was just in Atlanta, we had a late flight, late layover in Atlanta, and we landed in Terminal F, I think. So we just, went to the Skyclub there, and the line was out the door because it was all the late night international flights. People get to the airport, and everyone was in their pajamas, and they had their neck rest around their neck. And I
yep.
was like, oh my God, this line is so long. So I just went to a different term. I was like, you know what? I've never been to, I text you, what is it, D? And I was like, I'll just try I wanted to try something different. Tangent, didn't like it, won't go back. So
Yeah,
D was not the best. So
he was not the greatest thing. Well,
no.
speaking of long haul flights,
Yeah. This is a good question. People ask me all the time, when you do these long haul flights, when we say
what's in
long
your
haul,
bag?
we're meaning, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, like, JFK Athens, 10 hours, like these long flights. They're almost always through the night, right? So you leave at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. My flight to London most recently left at 10 p.m. So, they're always late. You get served dinner on board. They dim the lights to try to basically, ideally, you sleep through the night, right? So I've had clients recently. I've never seen Europe busier for as far as clients are concerned. So a lot of questions like, well, what do you bring, or what should I bring on long haul flights? So personally, I always pack a travel toothbrush and toothpaste. I know if you're sitting in Delta One, you get one. That's nice, but I still just have my own travel toothbrush and travel toothpaste. Um, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but people don't think about it. Make sure to pack your medicines you need at night, right? Because it's
Oh,
bedtime, right? So if you're on medicine you take before bed, like I put them like a little Ziploc bag in, I bring them. Um, Something I have not done, but I think I'm going to do, is pack a rudimentary skincare routine.
I wonder why you're thinking about that.
You know why? So I know you and I talked about it, but I saw something on Instagram this morning about like a lady that brought like a pad to like wash her face and do I saw it this morning, and I was like, I really need, because when I land, you just feel so nasty.
Yeah.
Maybe I do that at the airport lounge before the flight, right? That might be what I do. A little bit more room. So I might do it before the flight, right? In the lounge, go to the bathroom and like wash off. I don't have nice comfy clothes that I would wear, but I've thought about going to like Lululemon or something and getting like, some joggers or something. What do you bring? Like, what do you wear? Do you do a skincare routine?
So I now have a dedicated long haul outfit. It's not necessarily what I'm wearing like to JFK,
Okay.
but I'll actually drop it in our group too. For the ladies out there, it is from Adore Me, and it's kind of like a jogger set, but it's super lightweight, like very soft, breathable. I will switch into that and a very like comfortable light kind of sports bra I'll do that.
But you
And
don't wear that to the airport. You change in the lounge.
no, I'll change there, like right before my long haul flight. Because especially when I'm sitting in a lounge, I don't necessarily want to be
In
sitting in
pajamas.
that. I don't know. Because me also, I never know who I'm going to run into. Like I always have like, my company rec cards and business cards with me too, because you don't know who you're gonna meet in a lounge.
You ran into me at the
Yeah.
Centurion Lounge.
You just don't know. So I have that, and like the Centurion Lounge in JFK, what I like to do there also is they have that body lab at the Centurion Lounge.
Yep.
So I will do kind of like a full like stretch, kind of like yoga through my app, and just kind of like stretch out, relax, kind of get in that mode. Switch my clothes. I always have skincare packed with me, but on long hauls, I pack a sheet mask.
Yeah, I need to do that.
And honestly, your skin will feel so good. Like you don't feel like a raisin when you get off the plane. Like it's just a very clean, relaxed feeling. It's wonderful. I always have lotion with me too. Because you get super dried out when you're flying. Medicine always comes with me. This one's gonna be a little funny. I always bring a back scratcher. Like it's this little like one that folds up. Because I have this weird spot on my back. Like it doesn't look like anything to anybody, and Jeff doesn't understand. It like itches like randomly, and I can't reach it. It's just like it's that sharp for my fingernails. But it folds up like this big. And I slide it in my bag, and I have this little back scratcher.
What shoes do you wear?
Shoes, I actually wear Kizik's. They are my favorite travel shoe. Even though I have TSA pre-check and clear, you can just slide in and out of them without having to keep like retying them. They have the foldable back heel. So I travel with those.
I wear pair of loafers. I have a certain pair of loafers. You've seen me wear them. I
call them
my travel
easy
loafers.
Go, easy slip. I do the Kizik's for a little bit more support in the shoe. Depending on where I'm sitting, I'll bring the toothbrush, or possibly one of my turtleneck pillows if I'm not in Delta One, because it folds up nicely. And my chiropractor actually recommended it because it has an actual like kind of like exoskeleton setup.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Your neck. So yeah, that's the gist of it. And then I will always have a little extra kind of fold up like sundress or something like that ready to go too, depending on what I'm doing when I get out of the airport. It's just,
like when you land, go to the bathroom, like change in the.
Yeah, because you never know. Sometimes you could be on a plane that gets hot. We've all been on a hot plane, and that does not feel great. Even walking into a hotel, I don't want to feel like that sometimes.
Right.
So
I think that's great advice. I'm gonna ask for your skin your face mask, because I need to start doing that for the long haul. So
well, I'm making a recommendation. Sephora has a really great pineapple sheet mask.
You know what? I swear I might actually have one of those. I swear I think I might have one.
It's so good, and it smells good. It feels nice. It just does.
Well, I thought that was a great topic. Our travel tip of the day. You have I like this one. I thought this was a really good one.
The funny story about that this morning is Jason sent me a message, because we have a Pages doc that we share when we add things into it. And he's like, you can change the tip if you want. I'm not married to it. And I look at it and I was like, I'm pretty sure I wrote something in here yesterday, because when I was traveling at 5 a.m. yesterday, I wrote something in there. I'm like, what did you delete out of here? I'm like, remind me. I'm trying to remember what I wrote. And this was it. So I was standing at the lounge, the Priority Pass lounge, and this woman and her husband thought that they could get into the lounge just by waving their Platinum American Express card.
And for those who don't know, if you have a Platinum American Express card, you get a complimentary Priority Pass membership, but you have to sign up for it.
And that's where this comes from. So all these credit card perks, travel perks, you can't just assume like, oh, I get TSA pre-check with my credit card. Well, if you don't go sign up for TSA pre-check, it doesn't mean anything. So all these lounge passes or the DoorDash, the Uber things, you have to connect all of your stuff.
Right.
So I guess it was one of those things that I thought was kind of common sense. I'm like, maybe it isn't for people. So that's
I mean, I think that's great. I mean, I frequently visit my credit card websites and for the perks, just to make sure there isn't anything new that I'm missing, right? And when
the
there's new
offers
perks,
too.
when there's new perks that come along, like American Express added a complimentary Clear membership. Well, I signed up for it right away. You can't just go to Clear and flash your Platinum Amex and expect to use the service. You have to sign up for it. I think that's a great perk. Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Don't assume travel perks. In the hotel world, if you have status at a hotel, a very common perk is the late checkout. Okay? So I had a story. I was just recently at the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar. I called, and in fairness, a front desk person didn't answer. It was an operator, yada, yada, yada. And I was just informing them that I will be checking out late. Before the cutoff, though, just letting them know what time I'd be leaving. And she pushed back a little bit and was like, no, checkout's at 11. And I said, well, I'm just informing you I'm leaving at 1:30. I'm an explorist. Have a great day. And I hung up. Now, you working in the hotel industry, am I the jerk?
So there's going to be a yes and no to this, because certain statuses do have certain guarantees.
Right.
Like, we always like to say a based upon availability, but like a late checkout, that's kind of what I consider one of the more guarantees.
In my mind, it is too.
The one of the other perks that comes with some of these brands when you're like a top tier is guaranteed availability.
Oh, okay.
Reservation. But there's caveats to that. And I've seen many a Hilton Diamond, Marriott Titanium get very upset when they're trying to book a last minute reservation. They're like, oh, well, I have, 72-hour availability. I'm like, but I don't have any rooms to give you. I can't kick somebody out of the hotel.
So then why is that perk? And maybe this is a longer conversation. Why is that? You know what? Yeah. Let's table this for another time. Let's table this. We're already going long.
It's a very light step, but like the late checkout especially, I don't think you're the jerk, because a hotel's staffing issues is not the guest problem. And I'm seeing this very frequently. Hotels complaining about staffing and this or that. It's like, if you can't keep up with selling out your hotel because you don't have the staff, then you need to reduce your inventory and sell what you can manage. That's not on the guest. I've had this many a conversation.
Right.
That's the plus to like not being directly in a hotel and being a third party. So I, can kind of just cap off at a brand or a property if need be.
No, that is great. Let's talk about hotel status and stuff. Lots of questions.
That's a long conversation, because I feel like actually what we'd have to do that is we would have to go pull like the top tiers for like the big 3 or 4,
right?
And just kind of walk through them, because they're all
I love that idea. All right, Haley. Well, this was great. Make sure to join our YouTube page, our Facebook group, and guys, we'll be here next Tuesday. Haley, it was great seeing you, and we'll do it next week.
Bye, guys.